be a part of this today? Is that what's happening? Yeah? Did you want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, I love you too. You're such a good girl. I love you, Rosie. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? No? Go. Okay. There you go. Good girl. Having lighting issues that no matter which way I turn my light, I just cannot get it to get bright enough. So it's going to look a little odd today, but that's okay. Hey everybody, I know it's been a while, but I wanted to come in and do a video and corgi fur. I wanted to come in and do a video and just talk about some stuff. First off, today I wanted to go over, I am going to be trying the different dishes and concoctions out of, you've been licking the book. Is it good? Yeah? Thank you. This book right here, I really like it. I got it for Christmas and I've been cooking a lot out of it lately. And I just started trying some of the different drinks. And this particular one right here, my whole family likes it. And it's actually really, really good for you too. And it's really simple to make, if I can find it. And I turn right to it. All right, so today's drink is this one right here. It's really, really good. It's fruit-based with some spinach in it. I know that doesn't sound very good, but it mixes together really, really well. So you're gonna see me sipping on that throughout the video. A couple other things I wanted to talk about. I eventually plan on doing a book review of this book here that I was sent by the publisher. It's really, really, how would I describe it? It's fun. It's a fun book. It's not like a history lesson, but I've learned a lot of new things about the medieval period that we don't really talk about. And it's not just told from the European side of it either, which is a lot of fun. And the whole concept behind the book is talking about different fantasy tropes from like D&D, video games, movies, and stuff like that. The hero's tale, only from the medieval standpoint. So, like, how to flirt with the barmaid is stories on how courting and views of that were done at the time, or how to cross the cursed swamp, and it's actually talking about the sewage system or lack thereof. So it's a lot of fun, different things, and I'm going to go and do a more in-depth discussion on it at a later time. So far, I'm not done with it yet. I'm really, really bad about paying attention and long-term focus. I can't even find the word. Yeah, talk about more of this later. Another thing is I'm going to try to do more in the way of Twitch live streaming D&D games. I know there's already an overabundance of D&D Twitch streams, which I think is fantastic. There's a flavor for everyone out there, and I love all the different content creators that are on that platform putting out so much D&D content. The D&D revival makes my heart happy. But I'm going to do something you guys don't normally see. I'm going to DM a game. And in fact, I want to DM games out of this book. I'm really excited about doing it. Yeah, so dates to be announced on that. I'm hoping to do it this weekend. I've only used Twitch the once for that live stream that I did with Level Up TV, which was a lot of fun. But there was something else that I wanted to talk about today. I told you guys, oh, hi, Revan. My cat's under the table and the dog is trying to chase her, so the table might start bouncing a bit. Don't chew on her ear. Rosie, leave her alone. Be nice to the cat. Okay. Your nails are really loud. Can you lie down, please? I love you. All right, so today I actually wanted to talk about a D&D element that you hear mentioned, but we don't really go over the how, the why, and the should you. And that is note-taking. We have loose pages before we started actually keeping track of a notebook. And I wanted to read an excerpt out of my notes. So the way it works is we take turns taking notes for each player. Each session we rotate. And this particular game that we're doing is Descent into Avernus. So of course it's not going to be the same for everyone, despite it being, out of the same book. Each DM is going to have their own flair on how information is presented, and then of course player choice changes how the game runs as well. So if you're wanting to play Descent into Avernus, or you're planning on running the game and you don't want anything spoiled, even possibly, I would recommend skipping this particular section, because while my notes aren't hugely spoilery, it might give an element of the game away that you'd like to have be a surprise. All right, so here we go. Headed to the Demon Zapper, the Eye of Sauron looking thing. Jem's vehicle and lead with map, Vryon turrets. 3-hour journey. Monument shaped like upraised mandibles of beetle. It's celestial in make, cold iron. Glowing horse in light sounds sad. Plot twist, it's a unicorn. Interlude as players bicker and DM just watches. Lulu goes, talks to it. It's not in pain, just stuck in place there by Zariel. Demon Grinder comes in like a wrecking ball. Demon Grinder now cut in half by celestial light. Eldritch Blast takes out a chunk of the tower. Giant Thing stands up and questions us. Elemental's name is Ralzala, wants to be freed too. Knows an oracle, Red Ruth, and Bone Brambles. Players bicker again. Note-taking. What is the purpose behind it? How do you do it? And do you need to do it? Well, the first question on what is note-taking in D&D. Note-taking in D&D is... So for the first question, what is note-taking in D&D? Well, note-taking in D&D is simply taking loose sheet of paper, typing it out on your laptop or whatever device you're using, a notebook dedicated to it. I personally like physically writing stuff down instead of typing, because my brain, if I'm typing, gets really, really distracted. That was a distracted point. Back on point. So note-taking in D&D is simply taking parts of game that you might not remember very well later on. Every time someone makes a successful roll and you learn new information, you take a quick note down for it. Or if a new name or place is given, write it down so that way you can remember what that was. If there's artifact you find, or a scroll or whatever, runes, you can write it down. Something that we do is, even if the players aren't all together, they get separated somehow, and information is still gathered by that particular character, we discuss whether or not we're going to write it down, because there's a difference between player knowledge and character knowledge. And that particular player may not remember the exact details of something important that took place. So note taker goes ahead and writes it down, but we still, as players, if we were not involved, do not know that thing. That is up to the player to bring up to the other characters. Is it necessary? No. It is entirely up to you, because different gaming styles bring different things. Maybe it's not your cup of tea due to the fact that it just feels like more work. Maybe, you've got a really good memory, or you guys just don't really feel that that is a necessary element to your game. It doesn't make you less of a gamer. It just means it's not your thing. I recommend slight note taking so that way the entire group benefits from it. Or if you're a single player and it's just you and your DM, it can be fun for maybe you want to write a short story with it. And, the information side, of course, is still important. But if you ever decide to write stories with it, you've got a ton of information written down that you can pull from. Is there a particular way of doing it? No, it's not, you have to do it like how you were taught in school. You don't have to know shorthand to be able to do it. It is unique to everybody as long as you can come back, look at your notes and say, oh, that's what happened. Or maybe it could be a fun game to sit down, look at your notes and go, what is that supposed to mean? Again, it's different for everyone. It is something that is recommended. It is not a necessity. It can add color to the game by being able to go back and look at information. It can quell disagreements within the party because you're able to recall what happened. You don't have to sit down and scribe every word that is said, but being able to pick up on, oh, this is important, I should probably write that down. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you're like, oh yeah, I should write that down. And it becomes second nature instead of, wait, was I supposed to write that down? Wait. Different for everyone. And you're going to hear me say that a lot because I feel it's very, very important. You may watch a group of D&Ders that you very much enjoy, but when you try to copy what they do, it doesn't feel right. It's not fun. And that's because it works for them. And that's great. But what works for you as a player, as a DM, as a party, it's not always going to be the same as how someone else does it. And I think we need to talk about that more often. If you are inspired by how someone else games, that is fantastic. But if you want to change it, do whatever you want with how that format is presented to you, go for it. Try out different ways. Try out different styles of note-taking. If you want to just record your session and take notes, that sounds like a lot of work. But, I mean, different ways of doing different things, right? Eloquent. I wanted to talk about the note-taking thing. So, notes. Why do we... I apologize. We got a new AC in and it's a little bit loud. So if you can hear it, please bear with me. But at least it's not as hot in here as it used to be. So, note-taking. What is it? It is writing down certain things that stand out in-game that you might be able to call back on later or to make sure that you don't forget. Things like locations, characters, items, just discoveries in general. How do you do it? There's a variety of different ways. Typing it out, writing it down, however you want to word it for you to be able to go back and look at the information is just fine. Do you need to do it? Is it a requirement? Absolutely not. It is just highly recommended, especially if you're dealing with a larger group. So that way you can all keep track of the different things each of your characters are going through and any of the various things that they do if they go off on their own. It also can help the DM because the DM now has a little bit less that they have to deal with. Also, note-taking can be really good for your players who might easily get distracted. It gives them something to do. I know I end up sketching little things at the top of the page that's going along with what's happening in-game. Like I drew a little horse head and then I found out it was a unicorn, so I drew a horn on it. I don't know if this was helpful or not. I just want to start covering some stuff that I've heard people talk about, but they haven't gone into detail on the why or the how and stuff like that. Just the little details like note taking. Um, it can seem intimidating, but honestly, once you incorporate it, it gets easier. Descent into Avernus, I've been gaming for a while, but Descent into Avernus is the first time I have ever taken notes in a game. And I will say it has made a difference. If nothing else, it shows how each player involved in this game interprets the game. And it does make it so that way we can look back on what we've done a lot faster and go, oh yeah, right, we already did that. Or, right, this is the thing that we were looking for. Uh, I was a little intimidated at first on the how, and then also the spelling. I'm not bad at spelling, but there are still those moments where you're going, I'm having to pass this off to other people. I don't want to look stupid. Uh, Honestly, your fellow players aren't really going to care. And besides, you can look up how to spell stuff if you need to. Really, it has been super, super beneficial once I got over the unknown side of it and just went on ahead and did it. And plus, adding in the stuff like the players bicker. It wasn't as funny at the time, but it's funny to me. So, because it brings up, the things players can work on too. So, yeah, if you guys have other little D&D questions like that, the little nuances of D&D, please let me know. I would love to go over this stuff. I would love to discuss these issues. They're not issues, these topics. I would love to go over these topics to help enhance your gaming. If you're new to D&D, if you've been playing for a while, and it's an element that is newly being introduced to D&D that you're not familiar with from your years of gaming, those are things that we can talk about too. How to incorporate ABC into game. So let me know. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm going to try to release more stuff. I'm sorry I haven't been posting. I don't know when the next Gliska episode's coming out because they didn't really do very well, and I don't know if you guys are still interested in Gliska episodes, so let me know down below what we could do better even. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a great day. Please enjoy your gaming time, and remember, you got this. Bye.